Day 66, Desert Wanderings, Numbers 17, Deuteronomy 17 through 18, Psalm 97. Let's begin. Numbers 17. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, and receive from each of them a rod by their kinships, from all the leaders of the tribes, 12 rods, and write the name of each one on his rod. But the name of Aaron shall be for the tribe of Levi, and 1 rod separately shall contain all their families. And you shall place these in the tabernacle of the covenant before the testimony, where I will speak to you. Whomever of these I will choose, his rod will germinate, and so shall I restrain the complaints of the sons of Israel before me, by which they murmur against you. And Moses spoke to the sons of Israel. And all the leaders gave him rods, 1 for each tribe. And there were 12 rods, aside from the rod of Aaron. And when Moses had placed these before the Lord, in the tabernacle of the testimony, returning on the following day, he found that the rod of Aaron for the house of Levi had germinated, and that the swelling buds had opened into flowers, which, spreading their petals, were formed into those of an almond tree. Therefore, Moses brought out all the rods, from the sight of the Lord, to all the sons of Israel. And they saw, and each one received their rods. And the Lord said to Moses, Carry back the rod of Aaron into the tabernacle of the testimony, so that it may be kept there as a sign of the rebellion of the sons of Israel, and so that their complaints may be quieted before me, lest they die. And Moses did just as the Lord had instructed. Then the sons of Israel said to Moses, Behold, we have been consumed, we have been ruined. Whoever approaches to the tabernacle of the Lord dies. Will we all be wiped away, even to total annihilation? Deuteronomy 17:18. You shall not immolate to the Lord your God a sheep or an ox, in which there is a blemish or any defect at all, for this is an abomination to the Lord your God. When there will have been found among you, within one of your gates which the Lord your God will give to you, a man or a woman who is doing evil in the sight of the Lord your God, and who is transgressing his covenant, so as to go and serve foreign gods and adore them, such as the sun and the moon, or any of the host of heaven, which I have not instructed. And when this will have been reported to you, and upon hearing it, if you have inquired diligently and have found it to be true, that the abomination is being done in Israel, you shall lead forward the man or the woman who has perpetrated this most wicked thing to the gates of your city, and they shall be stoned to death. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, he who is to be put to death shall perish. Let no one be killed with only one person speaking testimony against him. First, the hands of the witnesses shall be upon him who will be put to death, and lastly, the hands of the remainder of the people shall be sent forth. So may you take away the evil from your midst. If you have perceived that there is among you a difficult and doubtful matter of judgment, between blood and blood, cause and cause, leprosy and leprosy, and if you will have seen that the words of the judges within your gates vary, rise up and ascend to the place which the Lord your God will choose. And you shall approach the priests of the Levitical stock, and the judge, who shall be among them at that time, and you shall inquire of them, and they will reveal to you the truth of the judgment. And you shall accept whatever they will say, those who preside in the place which the Lord will choose, and whatever they will teach you, in accord with his law, and you shall follow their sentence. Neither shall you turn aside to the right or to the left. But whoever will be arrogant, unwilling to obey the order of the priest who ministers at that time to the Lord your God, and the decree of the judge, that man shall die. And so shall you take away the evil from Israel. And when the people hear about this, they shall be afraid, so that no one, from that time on, will swell with pride. When you will have entered into the land which the Lord your God will give to you, and you possess it, and you live in it, and you say, I will appoint a king over me, just as all the surrounding nations have done. You shall appoint him whom the Lord your God will choose from among the number of your brothers. You cannot make a man of another people king, one who is not your brother. And when he will have been appointed king, he shall not multiply horses for himself, nor lead the people back into Egypt, having been exalted by the number of his horsemen, especially since the Lord has instructed you never to return along the same way. He shall not have many wives, who might allure his mind, and he shall not have immense weights of silver and gold. Then, after he has been seated upon the throne of his kingdom, he shall write for himself the Deuteronomy of this law in a volume, using a copy from the priests of the Levitical tribe. And he shall have it with him, and he shall read it all the days of his life, so that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, and to keep his words and ceremonies, which are instructed in the law. And so may his heart not become exalted with arrogance over his brothers, nor turn aside to the right or to the left, so that he and his sons may reign for a long time over Israel. The priests and the Levites, and all who are from the same tribe, shall have no portion or inheritance with the rest of Israel. For they shall eat the sacrifices of the Lord and his oblations. And they shall receive nothing else from the possession of their brothers. For the Lord himself is their inheritance, just as he said to them. This shall be the recompense for the priests from the people, and from those who offer victims, whether they will immolate an ox or a sheep. They shall give to the priest the shoulder and the breast, the first fruits of grain, wine, and oil, and a portion of the wool from the shearing of the sheep. For the Lord your God himself has chosen him out of all your tribes, so that he may stand and minister to the name of the Lord, him and his sons, forever. If a Levite departs from one of the cities, throughout all of Israel, in which he lives, and if he wills and desires to go to the place which the Lord will choose, he shall minister in the name of the Lord his God, as do all his brothers, the Levites, who will be standing at that time in the sight of the Lord. He shall receive the same portion of food as the rest also receive, besides that which is due to him in his own city, by succession from his fathers. When you will have entered into the land which the Lord your God will give to you, be careful that you are not willing to imitate the abominations of those nations. Do not let there be found among you one who would purify his son or daughter by leading them through fire, nor one who consults seers, nor one who observes dreams or omens. Do not let there be found among you one who practices the occult, nor one who uses spells, nor one who consults demonic spirits, nor a diviner, nor one who seeks the truth from the dead. For the Lord abominates all these things. And because of these wicked ways, he will destroy them at your arrival. You shall be perfect and without blemish with the Lord your God. These nations, whose land you shall possess, they listen to soothsayers and diviners. But you have been otherwise instructed by the Lord your God. The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet from your nation and from your brothers, similar to me. You shall listen to him. Just as you petitioned of the Lord your God at Horeb, when the assembly was gathered together, and you said, Let me no longer hear the voice of the Lord my God, and let me no longer see this very great fire, lest I die. And the Lord said to me, They have spoken all these things well. I will raise up a prophet for them, from the midst of their brothers, similar to you. And I will place my words in his mouth, and he will speak to them all the things that I will instruct him. But against anyone who is not willing to listen to his words, which he will speak in my name, I will stand forth as the avenger. But if a prophet, having been corrupted by arrogance, chooses to speak, in my name, things which I did not instruct him to say, or to speak in the name of foreign gods, he shall be put to death. But if, in silent thought, you respond, How will I be able to recognize a word which the Lord has not spoken? You shall have this sign. If whatever that prophet predicts in the name of the Lord does not happen, then the Lord has not spoken it. Instead, the prophet has formed it through the swelling of his own mind. And for this reason, you shall not fear him. Psalm 97. A psalm of David himself. Sing to the Lord a new song, for he has performed wonders. His right hand has accomplished salvation for him, with his holy arm. The Lord has made known his salvation. He has revealed his justice in the sight of the nations. He has remembered his mercy and his truth toward the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our God. Sing joyfully to God, all the earth. Sing and exult, and sing psalms. Sing psalms to the Lord with stringed instruments, with strings and the voice of a psalmist. With subtle wind instruments, and the voice of woodwinds. Make a joyful noise before the Lord our King. Let the sea be moved and all its fullness, the whole world and all who dwell in it. The rivers will clap their hands, the mountains will exult together before the presence of the Lord. For he comes to judge the earth. He will judge the whole world with justice, and the peoples with fairness.